밤하늘을 타고 빛나는 너의 미소 시작해 우리 이야기 우리 둘 매일 설레 네 목소리 들릴 때 나도 비춤을 춰 같이 달려가는 시간 여기서 멈출 Hey, you're tuned into GMHTV, where the ships are real in our hearts, the drama is chaotic, and we have way too many BL opinions. I'm Joyce.
And I'm Haven.
Let's get into it.
Guys. Guys, today we are going to talk about my favorite show. Top
They're screaming in my ears.
I'm just so geeked. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Anyways,
That being said, this episode will be all about Top Form from beginning to end, so there will be spoilers. If you haven't watched it, go watch it and tune back in with us.
yes, because you will thank us if you go and watch it.
Yeah.
That show is just too good. You will thank us if you haven't watched it yet. Go watch it right now. Stop, pause this, and go watch that show immediately if you haven't watched it. Thank
Yep.
you. Anyways, yeah.
So, starting off with what even is Top Form? Like, what kind of BL is Top Form? What's the structure of it? And just stuff like that.
Yeah, so let me tell you guys, when I started watching Top Form, I did not know not a lick of what it was going to be about. Okay, I did not read any description. I did not watch any videos. Like, if anything came up, actually, I don't even think a lot of videos of it came up on my TikTok for real. Like, I had no idea what the show was going to be about. All I knew was that I honestly first thought it was going to be sad because of the way Joyce was describing it to me. Because she'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's sad." Oh, stop! It made me sound like that. Like I'm right next to you. I was like, "Oh yeah, are you okay, bro?" I did not mean to do that. I'm sorry. Anyways, but she was just making it sound like it was sad. So I'm thinking I'm about to watch something sad, but no. I watched the best piece of cinema I ever had in my entire life. Anyways,
I don't know why the heck she's screaming,
I'm
bro.
sorry. But yeah, I had no idea what it was gonna be about. But as I watched it, I figured out it was about um Jen, who was now what are you breaking? Sorry. Anyways, but it's about Jen, who in the beginning of the series is starting out as a brand new actor. Um very rookie actor. And then it's also about the other main character, Ken, who is a veteran in the acting world, you know, beloved by all. And Jen meets a Ken and basically falls in love with him. And the story progresses from there. Okay. Jen becomes basically kind of obsessed with a Ken. And, um, you know, they film because they meet on a set of a show that they're filming. And, you know, after that, they don't meet again for another, I think it's like a year and a half. A year. They don't meet again for another year, 3 months, and I think 6 days. Was it that? Girl, I don't know. And after that year or whatever, that's when I talk about this. I feel like I'm gonna go too much into detail, but that's when Jen goes on this reality show or this talk show. Sorry, not reality show. He goes on this talk show and basically they're interviewing him and he basically talks about how much he loves Akin. And at that time he had followed Akin, but Akin had not followed him back. And on that, when he was on that show, talk about how much he loves Akin and, you know, respects him so very much. That's when Ken is watching it from his house and accidentally follows Jen. And my man Jen is so happy. He is so happy. And that's basically how they kinda get talking again because Jin adds Akin to his what's that thing called? Close friends list. And I promise you guys, it was probably only Jin on that close friends, nobody else. Nobody else. I could promise you that nobody was else was on that close friends
On
list.
Jin's or Akin's?
Jin's. Because remember, Jin was posting on his close friends about like what car he should buy
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah. And then basically they get on another show or was it a show or movie? I think it was a movie.
Yeah, it was a movie.
They get casted for another movie again and basically that's how they become close and not close again, but they start talking to each other again and start hanging out a lot more from that movie.
Okay. So my introduction to top form is a little bit different because I saw a bunch of edits of top form on TikTok and stuff. And I don't know what type of TikTok I have because all the edits I saw were like sad edits and stuff like that between their relationship. So I thought, okay, this show is gonna have me over here. I was definitely pushing it back, okay? So I was not gonna watch this until the last very moment. And then Haven watched it and she was like, girl, it's not even like heart wrenching like that, okay? Like it's not going heart wrenching in the sense that it's not like toxic relationship vibes. They're both
Yeah.
very much green flags for the majority the series.
Like you can tell they want the best for each other, okay?
Yes. Which kind of like goes into um our other like topic or whatever. Like what were your first impressions of like both the main characters, Jin and Akin?
My first impressions of Jin, um, honestly, because again, I didn't um know anything like walking into this at all. So when I first watched it, like from the very first scene, I honestly don't um I'm trying to think. I don't remember if I thought because in the beginning, Jin was with his like managers or whatever, and his managers didn't like Akin, and they were talking bad about him, and then he was just in the back sitting there. So I really didn't know how he felt about him. And then we get to the next few scenes, and I'm starting to understand. Like I'm liking Jin. Like he's new. He doesn't know how to act. He's kind of like nervous and stuff, like his acting, and then being like working with this um well-known actor. It I liked him. I liked Jen, okay. Point blank period. Now, Akin, how did I feel about him? Um, in the beginning, mm, how did I feel about this man? I feel like I thought he was cool, I guess. Especially after he helped Jen with that one scene. But you can tell he obviously wasn't as reciprocal to how Jen was feeling in the sense of like liking him at that time. Because at that time, I don't think he could tell that Jen liked him, like in the very, very beginning. But like he just didn't wanna deal with that newbie actor, which was, like, understandable, you got better things to worry about. But he was cool, I mean, wasn't anything crazy. Honestly, I liked both of them.
Okay, so my first impressions, firstly, like when you first start watching, the first person you're like kind of introduced to is Jin as the new actor. And, like, he was definitely giving very much, like, green, like Haven was saying, like, not very, comfortable in the acting world, not very comfortable with, like, putting himself out there, but he also has passion because he knows that this is what he wants to do now and stuff like that.
Well, wasn't that passion coming from Ken?
I think before the thing with Akin, I feel like he already wanted to be an actor. Like, I feel like he had the potential when Akin like awoken it, but he already like had it.
I thought it was because before he really, like, met with the Ken, like, and stuff like that and got to know him and that jazz, seemed like he really wasn't that interested in it for real. Like he was just doing it because it was something he could do. Because that's how I got it from like, especially like when he was in that car scene with him and his managers are kind of basically forcing him to go to the like thing to go act in or whatever. And then after he met with Ken is when he started getting excited to start going to the acting, like starting to go act and stuff like that.
I only say that I think he already had, like, the potential or the drive for acting just because, like, in one of the scenes when he was talking to Akin, he did, like he was saying that, like, he regrets not acting more, like, in high school or, like, high school performances. And then, like, for 10 years of his life, he had no purpose until he started acting, which led him to meeting Akin, which gave him the drive to, like, start their relationship and, like, end up in such a beautiful relationship. I do think that Akin, was a driving factor in, like, putting more passion into his acting. Definitely in the first episode where Akin was like, "Okay, so I'm gonna need you to get it together and, like, put some emotion into this, okay?" I feel like he was the driving factor and he added, like, fire and passion to his acting, but do also think that he wanted to be an actor himself, like, already, and Akin was, like, the igniter into, like, his passion.
I mean, I do think that like later on he actually grew to love acting at like in general. Like he actually liked doing the job. But I feel like in the beginning it was purely just because he wanted to be with Ken. Like he wanted to his driving factor was to act was so that he could be on the same stepping stool as a Ken so he could be with a Ken. I feel like. Like, that was I feel like his main thing, and the conversation that you're talking about, talk about how he was, had no purpose. I remember watching that, and I was just thinking I was thinking the same thing, like, "Oh, he was saying that because, um" what's it called? How should I say this? He was saying that because he hadn't met a Ken yet, and then he was like, he finally met a Ken, and he was he was I felt like he said that because he felt that he wanted to oh my gosh, why can I'm forgetting English. He said that because he wished he could have met Jin not Jin, a Ken earlier, so he could have been with a Ken earlier. That's what I got from that scene, yes.
And I could also see it that way. And then, like, back to the first impressions of, Jin. Yeah, I thought he was, like, not too comfortable in the acting scene, and I feel like his whole I don't wanna say personality, but my first personality was Akin. I'm so sorry, he was obsessed. He loved that man down bad, okay?
Mhm.
Down bad. And even from and you know what? I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all because the first scene where Akin was, like, teaching him how to cry on cue, he was looking at this man deep in his eyes, like, "Bruh, how can you not fall in love?
Like
Like, don't look at me like that and tell me not to fall in
exactly.
love with you. Don't." So I see why he fell in love, okay? And he went home and he started binge watching that man's shows, okay? Shows, movies,
Immediately.
anything he could get his hands on. And then that, like, takes me into, like, my impression of Akin. I feel like Akin, even though he's, a seasoned professional, I feel like he's also very, like, down to earth and, like, humble in a sense because, like, yes, he knows that he's, like, the lead actor, he's, like, the name of this show that they're in, or this, like, movie that they're in together, but him, like, taking time out to, like, help Jin in, like, scenes that he was struggling with, and then that one scene where he had, like, stepped on Jin's candy, and then he just looked at him and walked away, and then Jin's just like, "My candy," and then later on, he bought him a whole new pack. Like,
Mhm.
that's just, like it's just, like, little stuff, like, he's not like, when you first meet him, you probably won't think like, "Oh, this is a sweet guy," but, like, he does, like, little stuff like that where it's, like, you can tell his true personality isn't all about stardom.
Yeah.
Yes,
And that little candy pack that he got Jen kept with him for years.
literally years.
Years. Did not like that. He did not let that gym go.
whatsoever. And then yeah, and then I feel like in the beginning, I was just like, bro, what even? Like, I guess
She's a hater for real. She's a hater for real.
I'm not a
Let me tell
hater.
you guys, this
I'm
girl
not a
was coming
hater.
for Boom so bad, talking about something. Oh, he's not that cute.
So you go, Haven,
Excuse
Haven, Haven,
me.
Haven. Look,
Excuse. No,
look this out. Look
no.
this out.
I'm
Look this
gonna expose you because
out.
guys, because this girl.
She's saying all this mess. She's saying all this mess, but I do think Top Form is one of like top 5 BLs of 2025. Okay, they did good with one of the scenes we'll probably talk about later, but they did really good with many of the scenes.
Hmm.
I feel like me personally, I don't really have like any strong emotional connection to the character to the main character. I'm sorry, like I think it was good. I enjoyed it,
It's okay. It's okay. It's
but
okay.
I
It's
wasn't
okay.
crying like some people at the end. And that's the tea.
Oh, yeah. I wonder who was crying for real. Like,
Oh, yeah, I think their name starts with an H.
come on. Anyways,
Okay.
who am I lying? Am I lying too? James, let me tell you that ending scene. Every time, no, I like this. So I had to. It's on my phone now. Like I had to save that ending scene. It was just so beautiful, guys. So beautiful.
I feel like that also like goes into like our next like look. What do you think about like what about top form stands out to you personally? Like I feel like you have more of like an emotional connection to it than I do. So like for you, like what was like a determining factor of like, yeah, this is like a great BO.
I feel like there's many factors to it. I feel like how they filmed it in general, like the cinematography
Mm-hmm.
was really good. I really like how they did that. And also, I feel like how the actors acted in general, like, because I feel like if you, how they acted, both Smart and Boom, the show elevated it to a whole new level. Because let me tell you guys something. Not Jin, Boom, cry. He elevated those sad scenes to the max. Okay, like hugged at your heart for real. And I don't know. I just feel like they were able to act very much in love as well. Like I feel like they did a good job. Also, both in the show and outside the show. I don't know what those two got going on for real, but
These are all
uh,
speculations. Please don't sue us.
as I said, I don't know what those people got going on for real, especially what happened in Japan.
Oh,
Something
girl.
had to happen. Anyways, that's not the point. But I feel like those two were able to make it seem like they were an actual couple. Like anytime something happened, it was just I don't know, the way that they acted just made it 10 times better for me. And also on top of it, how the cinematography was and just everything about it. And also they're fine. Like don't ever play. You got all of that beautiful acting plus you're fine. I'm hooked. I'm 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 in it. But yeah, and
Yeah, I think for me, um, it was very much the storyline. I liked the
mhm.
like the two main characters, Jin and Akin, although they have like very different personality types, they're very much in different aspects of their life. Like Jin is a new actor. He's really just like stepping into the scene and he also has like huge potential and is really good to go like far, like even farther than Akin. And Akin is like a seasoned actor. He's been in the game for a while and they're technically like in two different aspects of like their careers and stuff like that. And I just like appreciated like how they were both supportive of each other. And even though technically they're rivals, they have different management companies, they act in different movies and stuff like that. They did such a great job at making it playful and not like so like no animosity between them. Like Like, even though they are rivals, I didn't feel like any like strong animosity or any like strong like, oh, I hate him because he's stepping over me and he's taking my spot. It was never like that. Like
Yes.
it was always like supportive between the two of them and helping each other out
And
and
I
making
also
it
feel
fun.
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
But I was just gonna say, I also feel like you're right because even though they were rivals, they never put it against one another.
Yeah.
Like even when Boom was going through the whole thing of feeling like, he wasn't as good as he was before, I don't feel like he ever put any of that on like wow, I keep using the word. Anyways, I don't think he put any of that on Jin. Like, yes, he was feeling insecure, but I feel like he was feeling like that because of his own acting. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't blaming him.
Yeah, like I don't think he ever put any blame on Jin. It was more like just so like, oh, I can see that like I'm falling behind a little bit and that hurts.
Hmm.
And like I feel
Yeah.
like as like any human being, like once you're in grace and you fall down even one step, it hurts. Like that's painful and you try to find ways to get back to where you were before and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like the storyline, the evolution of their relationship, because it wasn't just like they just started dating. No, it was a process, and I loved the process. I
Yes.
love that it wasn't just so like instant. I love that they grew into liking each other and then grew into loving each other. Especially for Akin's character when he's played love interests to so many different people and him and Jin like acting together and having to find like like different factor of like being love interests in a show and being together in real life.
Yeah.
I think that they did that so well in the script and in the writing. Like that was just beautiful. And I love that. And there was even a scene where Akin was like, you need to be able to differentiate between reality and fiction and like their acting. And I feel like for Jin, he was very certain in the fact that he had feelings for Akin. Like he might
Hmm.
have not been certain in his acting, he might not have been certain in other aspects of being famous. He knew I like this man, and then that grew to I love this man. And the
Hmm.
evolution of them like progressing into the relationship was I feel like was a great factor in top form and like something that really stands out in BL, like in like BL series. Because many BL series that I've watched, it's been like they hate each other and then, like
Randomly, they start loving each
loving each
other.
other, like
Excuse me, when did this
enemies to
happen?
lovers, but enemies for like half of the series and
No,
then lovers for 2 episodes.
like they don't know how to do it right. But
No.
like with top form, not saying they were enemies to lovers, but like just the how they got into the relationship and
Hmm.
like their starting point and their ending point, it was just such a beautiful story.
Yes. And then yeah. And I also think like for like the ending of their story, although we were robbed, because why didn't I see a wedding? Like I'm talking
To
about
this day, I'm pressed. To
like
this day,
okay.
I'm pressed.
It's okay though. Another factor I feel like
$19.
was $30
I said
for what? Oh,
$19.
you trying to buy merch right now? We're in the middle of thinking you're trying to buy merch? Okay. Anyway,
Perfect time,
what
is it
was
not?
what was I gonna say? I was gonna say another factor I feel like stands out from like in top form is their sex scenes. Now, I have never in my day,
Wait a minute, I just logged in. Hold on.
I have never in my day seen
The
such
first one.
passion.
The first one. No, you don't understand. When I first watched episode was that Duncan?
For
When I first watched episode 4, not episode.
episode 4 to
Yes, when I first watched episode 4, and I texted Joyce with quickness, like, because at that point she hadn't watched the show.
Mhm.
And I was like, girl, you need to watch this immediately. I can't. I've never in my days seen a scene like that. Guys, honey?
Yeah,
Honey?
I had never thought Honey could be so euphoric,
Honey?
but apparently Honey is a natural euphoria. So
Honey?
it was
Babes,
it was just so like
babes, honey? I was not expecting that. I'm sorry he grabbed the honey and I was like, why he grabbing the honey?
I'm not
I
gonna hold
quickly
you.
found out.
When I saw the scene at first, I played that scene back at least 4 times because I was just like, the first time I seen it, I was like, "You guys are gonna be so sticky."
Thought that too. I thought that too. I'm not gonna hold
I
you.
was like, "You guys are gonna be so
When
sticky."
when I first watched it, I didn't replay it. I just after the scene ended, I paused it and I had to take a minute for myself because I said, "What the heck did I just watch?
No, literally.
What the heck did I just watch?" Like, and then when it finished, when it cut to the next scene of them on the couch, I paused it and I was trying to see if there was still any honey on that floor. 'Cause I was like, after that messy night, okay.
But yeah, like they did so well with the sexual scenes in Top Form. Like they showed just enough passion and chemistry between the characters
Hmm.
that like what's happening between them is literally like I don't even know how to word it. Like you just know like this is something that's furthering their relationship and not hindering it.
Yeah.
And yeah. I just I think that like their sexual scenes together had so much chemistry. Haven and I were talking before this actually. They actually like I it's gonna sound so weird. But I like the way that they kiss. Like it's an actual kiss. Because in some BLs, they just press their lips together, like press their lips on each other, and they call that a kiss. Like, okay, so that's not a kiss, honey. That's not even a peck for real.
Mm-mm.
And
Like,
in Top Form, they were giving us kisses left, right, center, in between the sheets, and
yeah, it got to a point where I don't even know if they were doing it for the show anymore. Like,
oh, don't sue us.
hey, it needs to be said. I don't even know if they're doing it for the fans anymore. It seems like they want to do it just to do it. Hey, 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 I'm just the messenger. I can't.
But yeah, like that's how great their chemistry with each other are as like partners and actors. And I think as like a BL actor, like in the industry, it's like so important to like be able to like drive that chemistry onto the scene and onto the screen, as well as like I don't know, not make it awkward.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like you need to have a good relationship with your parent or
yeah,
partner.
yeah,
And they obviously clearly have a great relationship, which is very nice, especially thinking like knowing that they haven't been partners for very long at
yeah.
all. Like they are a new pair and seeing them have this much chemistry,
Be so comfortable with each other.
yeah.
And
But
that, like, kinda, like, goes into, like, their presence, like, outside of the series too, like, their social media and stuff, they seem so comfortable with each other behind the scenes,
so very comfortable.
and also just as supportive as they were, like, on screen, like, it's and even was talking about Japan.
I even said that
Guys,
in
we don't know
Japan.
what happened in Japan, but they came out of Japan,
Hmm.
and they were lovey-dovey holding hands, I don't know, but
Like, but
we
also,
support it.
side note,
Yeah.
they just came out with their little fandom name, and I love it. But
What's
anyways,
their fandom name?
or Aurelus, Aurelus,
That's a choice.
Aurelus, yeah, something like that. I don't know how to say it first. Aurelus, Aurelus, Aurelus,
Okay, period. It's cute.
something. But I like how it looks.
The name.
Yeah, it looks very pretty. And the reason why they picked it is also very nice as well. Don't ask me to say it right now because I can't say it off the top of my head. But it was very cute.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're also doing their big one off screen. Love that for them. Hopefully they both succeed in everything that they do.
Because I will be there in attendance watching them every step of the way. Better see me. You will see me in the background. See me everywhere. Okay? Thank you.
Like going back into the series though, I feel like a pinnacle point for me in the series, specifically that is ingrained in my mind, is when because I feel like they be doing this stuff too much in BLs. This is not the first BL they've done it in, and it needs to be said. When, like, Keen got so wasted drunk, he was passed out, bro.
Oh, and
And
Johnny.
Johnny takes him to his room, some hotel room. I don't even know what room that his Johnny's room, some room. And Johnny is like it's set up in the way that Johnny could assault a Keen. Now, my tea is like he didn't do it, but the fact that like it was set up to look like he did
And he
and messed
purposely did that?
and yeah, to try to mess with this man's head is crazy work. And this is
Mhm.
not the first BL where they've done that. I've like watched BLs where people have actually gone through with assaulting someone who is like um
Drunk
drunk
or
or
not
like
conscious.
yeah, or like they literally set it up to the way it looks like they've done something, or even just as simple as kissing this person or taking off their clothes without their consent or pretending to be a different person
Mhm.
while they are tendered like that is crazy work. And the BL industry needs to go ahead and work on that. I feel like there are other ways of adding tension to the scene or adding like yeah, like some kind of like tension to like build up the scene other than setting up to look like a sexual assault. I'm so sorry.
Because one thing about it, when they do things like that, they love to just push it off after it's done. Like,
Yeah,
no, this man was
especially
just sexually assaulted. Like, let's let's talk about it.
especially especially when like it's like actual blatant sexual assault and like the
Mhm.
person goes through with it.
Yeah.
And then it's just like they'll talk about it for like one scene in one episode, and then they'll move on from it, and then they'll focus back on like the main character as if it never happened. And I'm like, so we're not going to talk about how he was just assaulted? Like, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just my little critique on the industry as a whole. Like, I feel like we should probably like work on that. Like, we should find other tension points besides that. Yeah. And yeah, like do you have like a pinnacle point where that was like ingrained in your mind?
I feel like my pinnacle point is not that scene, but the scene when like Jin and Akin were at Akin's place and he was telling him and Jin was telling him that he didn't actually sleep with Johnny
Mhm.
and he was crying. That scene was just so I felt so bad for Akin during that time because it was like he actually felt so bad thinking that he had cheated on Jin on Johnny, even though even if that man did cheat on not cheat, even if he did somewhat slept with Johnny, it wouldn't have been his fault in any way, shape, or form. Because this man was
No,
not conscious.
literally.
He was not awake. Okay,
I
like he never consent. He didn't even know until he woke up and he realized he was not in his room. He was in
yeah.
some random hotel room and left. So I felt like that was just so that was a pinnacle point for me and how Akin and Boom in general acted in that scene was just so very heart wrenching, and I felt you could really feel the emotion throughout the scene for me.
I agree. Like even the way that Johnny described this, like how the situation went on, it was like this dude was incapacitated.
Hmm.
He didn't know what was going on, and guess who he was calling out for? His man.
Yes, whole
His
time
man.
he's literally the reason why Johnny said he didn't end up sleeping with him is because he didn't want to sleep with somebody else with somebody who was saying somebody else's name. Are we serious
Like,
right
are you
now?
serious? That's your stopping factor?
Are we serious right now?
Yeah, that was
Don't
not
piss me
it.
off. The fact that the stopping factor was that is very weird. And if he wasn't calling out somebody's name, you're telling me you still would have slept with him. You're weird. Like we should have not passed it. Like he was still around, and they didn't really like him after that. But still, it was like no.
Yeah, and then I feel like that scene and many other scenes after that just showed how much Jin loved Keen, not just as like this person he had like created in his mind, but for who Akin really is, like just who he is as a person.
Mhm.
Because I personally love the way that he. Okay, let me not say that too much. Okay, I think when they were in the car and Akin was trying to tell him like that's not what happened, I feel like he was a bit harsh.
Who?
Jin.
Oh, he was harsh. No, no, because don't get me wrong, that scene took me out because I just it was too much.
He
But
said, "If you get out the car, I'm not chasing you." I was like, "Would you say that, baby Kate? Don't say that!" And then he actually drove off, and I was like, "Oh,
no, I didn't think he was gonna drive off.
neither." I think we're gonna pull right back.
Huh.
No, he left.
Yes.
I was like,
I was
"Oh,
like, dang, you really left like that?
like what?"
But at the same time I did understand because even though um Lakin didn't know what happened, I feel like you should have told him that. Like, you were drunk, you didn't know what happened, blah blah blah. End of it. But the way that Lakin likes to handle his problems, he don't like to take the easy way out.
He don't.
He doesn't like to do things the easy way at all. He want to sit there and act like he actually did something. Boy, open your mouth and talk. Like, I know. This is not easy, but that man care about you. Just tell him. But
Yes, I feel like he gets too much in his head, and
mhm.
instead of expressing like, "Hey, this is what actually happened," he just like internalizes everything and tries to like put it all inside of himself. And it's like, dude, you're only one man. You're only
Yep.
one man and you're trying to carry two burdens. When you have a
Exactly.
partner standing right there who's like, I will do literally anything for
Anything.
you. Like if he had told, oh, actually, he would have gone crazy. If Akin had told him that he didn't even know, he would have beat Johnny. And I believe that.
Oh, he would have. Like, he was ready to beat him up, and he recognized that man's voice.
Yes.
Just recognized that
Just by
man.
that was actually so sexy. I even gonna hold you.
No, actually,
Like actually. Right? Just by the one phone call, the one measly phone call that they had together,
mhm.
that one phrase he said at the end of that phone call before he hung up, he ingrained that in his mind. He heard that again and he said, "You
No, literally.
grabbed that man by the shirt and punched him on the wall." I said,
I
"Yeah,
said, beat
yeah,
him up, punch the fuck out of
yeah."
him. Like, oh my gosh.
I love when it's like they mad but they not toxic.
Mhm.
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 Clock it. Like they did that good.
Mhm.
Like don't play. He is in fact a lover boy, but he can get down too. Can he fight? Yes, he can.
Yep.
Mhm. And I love that. And yeah, like I feel like um going back to like how both of them handle situations like tensions,
Yeah.
I feel like Jin is very much like willing, like he's a doer. Like if he sees that there's a problem, he like likes to like figure it out and then do something about it. Cuz when he found out like not found out, but when he needed information about what happened between Johnny and Akin and like Akin wasn't providing the information,
Yeah.
guess what he did? He went to the source. He was like, "I'm gonna find out one way or another." Like even if
Mhm.
you guys actually did sleep together, like he wanted to know, like genuinely.
Yep.
So he's definitely like a doer. While Akin to me, he seems like an internalizer. Like he just like swallows the problem and like tries to like hide it away
Yeah, he likes
swiftly.
to avoid
Yeah,
he
like
likes to avoid all his problems.
yes, that's the word. He likes to avoid it. And it's like instead of going head towards it, he likes to like find every single direction around but to go towards it and
Like,
figure it out.
Akin, the way to go, just take a right. But no, he'll go straight. Take three lefts before he gets to the right answer. Like,
Yes.
please, please.
And
There was a
yeah.
more simpler way to go about this. You didn't have to do all this. Literally with every single problem that happened, it was Jin taking it to the highest degree with that problem, the stalker. Um, was there another problem? Or were those the two main? And with the um,
When their photos got leaked again.
yes, yes. So like Jin tries to take everything and kind of solve it his own way, but the way that he be trying to solve problems be the worst ways. Like,
Ken or Jin?
who did I just say?
Jin.
Oops, I meant to say Kim. I was like, girl, my baby Jen didn't do nothing like that.
No, Jin is definitely the one. Like, if you go with him, if Akin had come to Jin and he was like, "Hey, somebody got our photos from that one girl who was stalking me
Mm-hmm.
and is threatening to expose us," he found a way. He would have found a way quicker with quickness to save both of their careers. And if he
Yes.
couldn't save both of their careers, he definitely would have sacrificed his for Akin.
Yeah.
And I
And
feel
he
like
wouldn't have cared.
yeah, and I feel like that too also plays a part on why Akin makes decisions the way he does. Because I feel like he knows that Jin would do anything for him, but he also wants to do anything for Jin.
Jen.
So it's like, yeah, like they're both trying to protect each other, but mm, although they're both trying to protect each other, Akin always like instead of finding a middle ground first before sacrificing himself, he goes into sacrificing himself, and then it's like, yeah. Well, I feel like Jin is like, okay, let's find a middle ground. If we can't find a middle ground, I'll sacrifice myself.
Mm-hmm.
But let's find something in the middle first. But yeah, love him for that though. Like everyone wants a love like that. Everyone wants a love
Yep.
where somebody's willing to
They
like,
fight for each other.
yeah, fight for each other, support each other through the
Mm-hmm.
bad, the good, the in between.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If only. Anyways.
Girl, boom. Oh wait, I kind of ate that up.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And then I don't know.
What's next?
So girl, we definitely hit all the 20.
Well, let me talk about something. Let me talk about how sweet, sweet, sweet that love is. Sweet love. Just could never provide that for me.
And I never wanted to.
She's a liar. Okay, that's not
So
how she was acting before we came on here, guys. Don't listen to her.
I'm the liar. I have footage
Don't
of
make
you
me.
jumping
Don't.
on me.
Just thing. Anyways, but I mean, we kind of talked about how sweet their love is, but like, guys, let me tell you, the ending. Ooh, we already set up. This is gonna have spoilers, so I don't care. The ending of when know, wait, who asked who to marry who? Jen
Gen
asked
X
Akin.
Akin. Yeah.
Yes. And then Akin, Jen had proposed to Akin, and Ken did the thing where he loves to do talk about some win this award first. Then he'll get married to him. And then when Jen went to go win the award for the film that Ken directed, and we're in that scene, guys. Scene, it was just so beautiful because Jen came back and was just basically talking about how, you know, Jen not Jen, Ken, well, he didn't say his name, but you know, Ken needs to remember their promise and, you know, even during that time, they forgot how to breathe. And they did the thing where they did when they first met. It was just so beautiful. And then it played my favorite song. Guys, I'm gonna cry again. Played my favorite song. Oh, you. I'm not about to sing it. I can't sing. But played Infatuated, and then just gave this little montage of their beautiful love. Why are you? It seems like you're trying to fall asleep. Don't fall asleep.
I'm not falling asleep.
This is interesting. This is interesting work. Work. This is an
What?
interesting topic. Listen.
Hold on,
Anyways,
please.
they were beautiful montage of their love. That song, guys, I couldn't cry. That was just
Screaming in my ear.
that's just so beautiful. My God. That was just so beautiful. And that's what he said. That's what he said.
I hope you know there's a camera
Oh,
right there. So if you're gonna start crying, like,
forgot.
can you like calm
I
down?
forgot.
Anyway, going back to our normal segment,
Oh
the
my
ending
God.
was very
He
cute.
hates me, guys.
They
She
did
hates
a
me.
wonderful job in the montage of like um how they became them, their relationship throughout the years. Another thing I like to clock.
Whoa.
Sorry. Another thing I want to clock is the timeline. Okay, I appreciate the timeline was actually realistic and not everything happened in like a
A
span
month.
of a month or a
Or,
year.
hmm
Like everything that happened in the span of 3 year plus. Okay,
Well, in that 3 years though, they didn't talk for a year, 3 months, and days.
that's still more realistic
It
than
is. It is more
some
realistic.
BLs where everything happens within the span of a month or a year, and
Mm-hmm.
then they at the end they're like, "Let's get married.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
be together forever."
Yes,
The
I
only one
agree.
that works with is Johan and North. Okay,
Boo.
don't get it twisted. Love them. Hashtag. Oh, no, it's not what we're here about. But yeah, I appreciate the timeline. The timeline ate now. Okay, and the montage at the end was cute. And I actually love their little niche of them being like, of Akin being like, if you win this award, get a little something from me.
Yeah, that's actually cute.
Because he
Like
said,
to support them and stuff like
yeah,
that.
he said, not only is that supporting, it like puts fire under him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like you want something, go win that
Work it.
award. Because
Work
not
for
only
it.
does it better you, it betters their relationship. Because now they're like equals.
One thing I don't appreciate though is how they did not give me a wedding scene. How you gonna just plaster just married on the TV?
Not even the door
What?
banner, like
On the TV?
TV.
I was so pressed. I said, "This is all I'm getting. This is all you're giving me." I better see a special episode of a wedding, something. Or
Season
this
2.
goes into how they said that a season 2 is coming out, or give it to me in season 2. I need a wedding.
Mhm.
Not need, I demand. Okay, I can't do that. I need a wedding.
Like demanding who?
You.
I agree. I think a season 2 would be very beneficial. Would be very beneficial to the plot line. Because honestly, I need to see what happens, not just with the two of them, but also that the one manager, Akin's
Oh, with the
manager.
movie and saying he was playing in
Yeah,
the movie. Yes, I want to
yeah.
see
I want to see
how
what
that
happens with
goes.
that, and I want to see what happened in his love life because he got a little
Hmm
boo thing. I need to see his little boo thing.
Yes, and also I want to see how the public reacts to them actually together.
Yeah, and being
Because
married.
once they're married, I feel like that's gonna be like everyone's then gonna know like they're together once they're actually
Yeah.
married. So
Because you can only hide that you guys are married for so long, bro.
yeah.
Like, I feel like the scene with that stalker fan who was hyper obsessed with Akin shows that like there are fans that will go to the extent to know every single last bit of detail
hmm
about your life.
Yeah.
So there's just no way that like they can hide it for that long.
Also, going back to that little fan, after she sold the thing to those people, I would have went back to wherever she was and given her a piece of my mind. Because girl, I thought we solved everything. How you gonna sell the pictures to somebody else? You loser. Anyways, just
Mhm.
had to go back to that. But yes, I need a season 2 immediately. Like it's not a want, it's a need. Like I
Girl,
need season 2, guys. But yeah, is that all we have for today?
I mean, just a little question for the audience, just something to think about. Leave a comment. Just let us know, like, what's a scene that made you fall in love with the main characters and why? If you've
Mhm.
watched Top Form, I guess. Yeah, I feel like that's all we have for today.
Okay.
Do we know what our next episode's gonna be?
Yes. Tune in next week for we're going to be covering the anime number 6.
Yep. I
Yep.
love if you haven't watched it, please go watch it. It's good. It's good.
Yep.
Period.
But that's it for this episode of JMH TV. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow, leave a rating, and tag us in your BL recommendations. We want to hear all of them. And tell a friend who needs more BL in their life to come and give us a listen, give us a try. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Never say goodbye. Your love feels so right. Dance with me tonight. 눈부신 그 빛 우유처럼 내 맘을 태워줘 함께할 순간 기대돼 우리 둘 더 빛나